UTSA has a new basketball coach. Feels like he was hired months ago, but he's finally made his way to San Antonio because, well, he's been busy as an assistant in Alabama going to the Final Four. But he's in San Antonio now and joins us on the Buyers Barricades guest line, new UTSA head basketball coach, Austin Claunch. I can only imagine what the whirlwind has been like for you the last several weeks. Can you kind of take us through what the last several weeks have been like for you?
Yeah, man, it's you said it. It's a whirlwind is probably the perfect word to describe it. It's been a lot of fun though. When I got the job, I'm not sure anybody anticipated us to make the run we did. We got hot. That was a special group of guys we had this past year in Alabama, and you get in the tournament and anything can happen, right? We win that first one. There were a couple of upsets along the way, and but even throughout that time, man, I've had my eyes set on getting down here and get my boots on the ground and start working. So I've been eager, and now I'm finally down here. Of course, we had the press conference yesterday. So we got a lot of work to do, man. It's an exciting time to be in San Antonio. And so I'm just ready to get to work.
Well, first of all, Austin, welcome to San Antonio and congratulations on leaving Alabama headed to the Final Four. But I have to ask you this because you're right. I don't think anybody expected Alabama to get to the Final Four. Now that you're not there anymore, did you really expect Alabama to get to the Final Four?
Well, look, I mean, we played, I'm not sure our overall record indicated probably how good we were. I mean, we played one of the toughest schedules, probably, I'm not sure what it ended up, but I know at one point it was the number one toughest schedule. When you look at our non-conference, we were really prepared, because we played Purdue, Creighton, Clemson, Arizona, we played all those teams in the non-conference. So, we felt confident, even though we didn't play great in the SEC tournament, kind of that last 10 days of the regular season. We were a confident bunch. We played against the best teams in the country. And so, you know how the tournament is, you get in and you win that first game, you just kind of get momentum. And by the time we won those first two, we were confident heading to LA and we were able to get it done. So, I know a lot of people, again, were surprised, but it was a confident team and it had been battle tested throughout the year.
Austin Claunch, the new UTSA men's basketball coach, joining us here on the Blitz on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Coach, at 34 years old, this isn't your first head coaching job. You were at Nicholls State for a couple of years, won some titles, conference titles, 1 year at Alabama. To get a job at 34 as a head coach at a program in the American Conference, are you even surprised at your age that you've got your first head coaching job, or are you on the schedule of goals that you set out for yourself?
I tell people when I got the job at Nicholls at 28, that first year I felt like a young head coach, but after year one, you don't feel like a young head coach anymore. I'm starting to get gray hairs and all that good stuff. So I don't necessarily think of it from an age standpoint. Ultimately I was very blessed to, sort of get that first opportunity when I did at Nicholls. And, that was able to kind of, maybe fast track me a little bit to get, their opportunities a little bit earlier than anticipated. But listen, I say it all the time. It was great. It's great to be one of the youngest head coaches. You don't want to be one of the youngest ex-head coaches. So we got a lot. We got a lot of work to do in a short amount of time. It's already kind of almost the end of the semester, and I'm hungry, and I got a staff that's hungry, and we're gonna put out a team at UTSA that's gonna kind of reciprocate that energy with how we play. So no, I'm excited. I'm ready to get to work, and it's gonna be a process, but yeah, like I said, we're excited to get it started.
So Austin, you say there's a lot of work to do, and we know that in UTSA, the basketball program, it's been up and down to say the least. But what do you see when you come into San Antonio? I'm sure you've looked at this, and what are the challenges to recruit good players to the University of Texas at San Antonio?
Well, listen, I mean, I'm from Texas, so, a big thing that excites me about the job is the passion of this community as a whole. I think it starts with that. We're going to win because of who we have, not what we have. I think a lot of people look at the Convocation Center and maybe think that it's small or outdated. Hey, to me, it could be the best home court advantage in the American. You talk about packing that out, a couple thousand every single night, screaming Roadrunner fans. Man, that can be an electric environment, and then you talk about what the city offers. You got the Spurs, you got the Riverwalk. It's growing exponentially. If you even look at the last 10 years, the way this city has grown, And then you add that on top of the identity of its toughness, its blue collar attitude. This is a place that can consistently win championships and compete in the American every single year. So there's a lot to like. Every school has different challenges. We have ours just like any other school. But man, we have a lot of things that we can really sell and build on to create that foundation.
But you're not going to argue that the combo needs to be updated or replaced, right? I mean, we've been saying that since the early 90s.
Hey, listen, everybody loves new things. Nobody's going to argue that. But there's a lot of other things that go into winning, right? And so I'm never one of these guys that's going to stand on a mountain and say we need all this, we need all that. It starts with players. If we can get good players here, then you know, I don't really care for playing outside. You know, if I've got a group of guys that I'm confident in, you know. So, but yeah, you know, obviously the combo is, you had some great memories in there. You know, I think there's things obviously we can improve on, not just with the combo, but just, you know, in general. I think you're always looking on ways to get a leg up on your competition from a facility standpoint, from a resource standpoint. You know, when you're talking about, practice gyms, NIL, different things like that. But that's going to happen. That's going to happen over time, and we're going to figure out how to get that up to par and go win championships consistently.
Coach, do you find that a challenge in itself? I mean, you've been around college basketball. You've been at Alabama, obviously, last year. The NIL, the transfer portal and all that. How do you deal with all of that coming to a school like UTSA?
Yeah, you know, but even at Alabama, you know, I mean, there's challenge. You know, it's completely different challenges than here at UTSA. But even compared to the rest of the league, you know, we had, you know, certain hurdles that we had to jump over at Alabama. Obviously, here we like I mentioned, we've got a ton of work to do in just building that foundation. But when it comes to the transfer portal, you know, I think we have a good grip on, you know, sort of a way to attack it with the resources that we have and you know, with our style of play. You know, listen, this is a basketball decision when you come to UTSA. You know, we're going to put you in a position to ultimately develop, you know, and put yourself in the best position to go be a pro. You know, very similar to how, you know, Coach Oates has done it at Alabama, right? And I think this is going to be an opportunity, you know, for guys that, you know, maybe haven't, you know, had that, you know, chance or played this style to come here and really show what they can do. So, you know, this is a basketball, you know, it's a basketball opportunity, you know, in regards to how we're going to play. And obviously, you know, we've already touched on the combo a little bit, but we're going to create an environment here that's fun to play. I can promise you that. And people are going to show up because they're going to like watching the Roadrunners.
Fun, energetic. That's the expectation. We're hearing that from you. Just right now, Austin, looking at some of the comments on our YouTube channel, one guy says he's now going to buy season tickets. He thinks you're going to get UTSA into March Madness. And it's been a while. And again, I liked Steve Henson, but the program just was what it was. And that's why you're here now. What do you do initially? And I know while you were working at Alabama during the Final Four run, probably putting things together and calling recruits for UTSA. And, you know, everybody's, they lack patience in this microwave society. How quickly do you think you can turn it around with the style of basketball that we expect, which from you, I expect high scoring and fun?
Well, listen, the goals don't ever change, right? And I understand that some years there's there's head starts that maybe you have on other years in reaching those goals. But the goal is always to win the regular season title and win the conference championship, and that's going to be our goal in year one. Now, like I said, right now we are a long ways from that. You know, we've got to build a roster. We've got to get out here and start to implement the way we're going to guard, you know, the way we're going to attack offensively. So yeah, we have a ton of work to do, but the expectation is going to be the expectation, and I am fully aware that. We're nowhere close to the level we need to be at to consistently compete every night in the American, but that's going to develop just one day at a time. We're going to get a little bit closer. And again, it's great to hear somebody comment, like that on the YouTube comments, because it's going to take this entire community. You know, I think good teams win games, but I think great communities and great families win championships. And the heart of San Antonio is a big part of why I took this job, because I truly believe that we can create an atmosphere and a community around this basketball program that's untouchable.
You know, Austin, it's I tell you, well, I'm fired up already. I mean, you've got an energy.
Yeah.
You've got an energy that is very contagious, and that's only going to be a positive, I know, for this program. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I see you were born in Argentina. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, you know, my dad was in the oil game, so we moved around a little bit. I was born in Argentina, but listen, I'm a Texan. Houston, was where we settled. My dad's from El Paso. My mom's from Dallas. I'm an unapologetic Cowboys fan.
There you go.
So
there you go.
That's, I tell our guys all the time, if you want to know what time we're practicing on Sunday, just check and see when the Cowboys play. If they play at noon, we're practicing in the afternoon. If they play in the afternoon, we're practicing early. So, hey, listen, again, that's another thing that just excites me about this. I feel like I'm coming home, coming closer to my family. A lot of people that I grew up with are, right down the road from me now. So again, there's a lot to like, for me personally about this job. But even when you look at, the development of this athletic program over the last 10 years, how about what Coach Traylor's done with the football program? What Coach Aston did with the women's team last year was incredible. What baseball is currently doing right now this season. There's a lot to love about UTSA, and I'm looking forward to getting basketball up to that standard.
Scheduling around the Cowboys. You're listening to a man who has his priorities straight. Austin Claunch, the head basketball coach out at UTSA, and the energy is there, and it's been lacking. Out of curiosity, and I know you just got to town, I'm guessing you've met Jeff Traylor. When you guys are in a room, can it handle the amount of energy between you two coaches?
I said it yesterday at my press conference, and, I've actually also I've officially hired Jeff as my associate head coach, so he's going to be running the offense.
Oh, good Lord.
He's going to be running the offense. Says he wants more threes even than we shot at Alabama. So I don't know exactly what that's going to look like from Coach Traylor, but hey, Coach is the best. He's been such a resource for me these first couple of weeks, just leaning on him, trying to get familiar with everything down here. And hey, everyone listening, come out to the spring game tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to get our team and our staff down there, get my first taste of Roadrunner football. And again, man, I'm looking to take that electricity that I know they have at the football games and get that over to the Convocation Center. So if you got time tomorrow too, get out to the spring game. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know you just got here, but have you had a chance to look around the city at all?
A little bit, and it's not my first time here. I've looked around a little, but like you said, we got a lot of work to do. We got to start scheduling visits. We got to sit down and have workouts. Certainly when time slows down, I'm going to get out here and enjoy. The weather's been awesome, so I'm going to find a good place to sit down and listen to some music and enjoy the sun.
All right, so now we got to get to know you a little bit, Austin, as you say that. You're a Texas guy, so trying to figure out your favorite barbecue, that's going to be a loaded question here, but I assume you're a good barbecue guy and a cold beer.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a decent barbecue guy. I'm a huge Tex-Mex guy, right? So, my fiance is actually Mexican herself, so we consider ourselves a little bit of Tex-Mex snobs, and so this is the best place to get Mexican food in the country. So I'm looking forward to finding the best spots, local spots here. And yeah, don't get me wrong though. I love some good barbecue too. I'm not gonna lie. So,
all right,
I'm not super picky. This is the best place to get food, the best steak. So I know there's a lot of good food all over the place.
Now, Tex-Mex is one thing, and you brought up your fiance. Looking at your Twitter right now, she a famous actress?
She is. Yeah, she is. So, again, that was my first 5-star recruit I landed right there. So I was able to get that one done. But yeah, no, Jimena is, she's really excited to be here as well. Just with this community and again, how it feels like family. I don't want to sound too cliche, but we really are coming home. We're close to her family as well. And so this is a move that makes sense just for a ton of reasons and really excites us for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah, you big time basketball coaches, man. You get all the women, right?
The term outkicked your coverage. It's Austin Claunch, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I hope she doesn't figure that out anytime soon,
No, it's all. And look, I mean, coming into a new job in a community that is hungry for success and just the reaction that we've seen since you were hired, and I credit Lisa Campos and the hire there when knowing what this program has. It's had that taste of getting to the tournament, just that continued success. Seeing what you've done at 34, listening to your energy, it's almost like when Jeff Traylor first got here, and we were talking with him, and he said it wasn't going to take long, and we all know what he's been able to do in a short amount of time.
Yeah, well, we'd love to obviously share that same success that Coach did, but listen, energy is great. Press conferences are awesome, but we got a lot of work to do. And it starts with that. We got to have good practices. We got to have guys that are about the right things every single day. Got to have guys that want to get, make tough plays and be about winning. So, energy is great to start. It's a great base. But now it's time to really get to work and start to implement how we're gonna do this. So we're excited to get going.
All right, good deal. One last food question for you, Coach. Are you a gizzard guy?
Oh my gosh.
I'm not a huge gizzard guy, but listen, I'm not above it, right? But it's certainly, I don't think it'd be in my starting five. I'll tell you that.
Well, right. But if somewhere there's some fried chicken and somebody's got some gizzards and gravy there, you're going to put a couple on your plate and eat them?
I'll put a couple on my plate. Again, I'm not a snob in that regard. Back when I was in Louisiana, I had never tried gator, and all of a sudden I became a huge gator fan. So again, gizzard's not my favorite, but I'm not above it. I'll throw some on my plate.
Coach, you don't have to suck up to him.
Come on now.
If you don't like gizzards, just say you don't like. I got one more question for you. Chicken fried steak. Do you add ketchup?
No.
Oh,
of course not. That's gross.
You didn't tell Traylor that, did you?
I didn't, and I didn't know that about Coach Traylor. So he's got more. It sounds like I got more coaching to do than I thought. Well, if Coach Traylor's putting ketchup on his chicken, it's country fried. Country fried
chicken fried steak, gravy, and ketchup. Joe does that. It's disgusting.
It's delicious.
Although he gives me crap for eating gizzards every now and then.
Chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, and fried okra. That's probably my go-to meal. If I had one more. So
not bad. Not bad.
My go-to meal.
Good stuff.
We'll get you turned around, Coach. Don't worry about it.
And man, you show up at San Antonio at the right time. You mentioned the spring game tomorrow, which is an official Fiesta event. You get in town just in time for Fiesta, and I know you got a lot of work to do, but make sure you get out and have some fun here in the next couple of weeks and enjoy San Antonio.
No, we will for sure. And while we do that, look forward to building those relationships in the community because they're going to be a big part of our success. So I really appreciate you guys having me and look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Absolutely. Austin Claunch, head coach of the UTSA men's basketball program, joining us here on the Buyers Barricades guest line where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com.